Hi, my name's Jo Armstrong, and I've worked in the charitable sector for over a decade. For almost the last 2 years, I've been the CEO at Cystic Fibrosis Australia. Cystic fibrosis is a genetic condition that affects about 3,600 people in Australia. In fact, a new baby is born with it on average every 4 days. Cystic fibrosis typically thickens the body's natural fluids, so people living with it often have a cough as their body cannot clear the thick and sticky mucus that is on their lungs. The condition impacts the whole body, including sinus, digestion, and reproduction. Until fairly recently, cystic fibrosis was considered a childhood disease, as most people living with it have a significantly shorter life expectancy. However, even in the 2 years since I've been at Cystic Fibrosis Australia, new therapies have revolutionised treatment and completely transformed the lives of many people living with cystic fibrosis. Life expectancy is now into the 50s, whereas as recently as 2005, it was about half that. And we were even starting to see a baby boom. Many people with cystic fibrosis are starting to have families, making it an incredibly exciting time. The future is even more exciting. There are new therapies, technology, and data that are breaking new ground all the time. And that's why much of the advocacy work we do at Cystic Fibrosis Australia is focused on access. Access to therapies, access to the same quality of care across Australia, wherever people live. I think we'll see a huge growth in innovations, such as gene therapies in the coming years, for the general healthcare population, but also particularly for the cystic fibrosis community, which is where we really need precision therapy. It's so critical. Greater access to the community through social channels, for instance. Greater access to policymakers in Canberra through our Parliamentary Friends of Cystic Fibrosis group. Access to increased carrier screening to help parents prepare for the journey ahead. And perhaps the biggest, access to information and data. I'm often asked by patients and families what outcomes they can expect for information on new therapies. And it's an area where partnerships are so critical, including partnerships with pharmaceutical companies, both for their expertise and for their funding. Moving forward, I'm continuing to garner interest in our programs such as the Cystic Fibrosis Data Registry. It is one of the most mature registries in Australia and collates all the clinical data, including medications and access to them, supporting research and ultimately patient outcomes. We're soon going to be adding the updated quality care standards too. The potential this offers to genuinely transform the lives of our community in the future is mind-blowing and has never been more significant.